Ever felt disconnected from someone you love, especially when words fail? This poignant story, The Rhythm on the Dashboard, reveals David's desperate attempt to reach his silent son, Leo. Discover how a simple shared moment, not words, became their bridge. You'll learn the profound power of unspoken connection and patience, inspiring hope for your own relationships. Watch to find understanding beyond words. The car hummed, each mile marker deepening the silence between David and his son Leo. David glanced at Leo, a knot forming in his stomach. 15 years old, and the world seemed to have stolen his voice. "How was school today, Leo?" David asked, his voice a careful balance of casual and concerned. The question hung in the air, unanswered, a fragile hope suspended between them. A single word escaped Leo's lips: fine. The word felt like a pebble thrown into a deep well, echoing emptily in the vast silence of their disconnect. David tried again. "Anything interesting happen in class?" He watched Leo shrug, a subtle gesture that spoke volumes in its indifference. The silence stretched, each tick of the clock amplifying David's worry. Was it something he had done? A question left unasked, a word left unsaid. David's thoughts spiraled, each fear feeding the next. Was Leo being bullied? Was he hiding something terrible? The unknown was a monster in the back seat. "Leo, you have to talk to me," David pleaded, his voice cracking under the weight of frustration and worry. His words hung in the air, desperate and pleading. Leo reached for his earbuds, a silent act of defiance. The world shrunk to the space between his ears, filled only with the sound of his chosen music. The music was a wall, impenetrable and absolute. David exhaled, feeling defeated as the gap widened between them, impossible to cross. David turned on the radio, hoping to fill the void. An old rock song, a relic from happier times, began to play, a bittersweet melody filling the car. The chords resonated, a familiar rhythm that once brought them together. David tapped his fingers on the steering wheel, a subconscious echo of shared joy. Tap, tap, tap. The rhythm was small. A subtle signal sent into the void, a silent plea for connection, a beat that yearned to be heard. Then a faint echo. Tap, tap, tap. A matching rhythm, soft and tentative, responded from the passenger seat, a hesitant answer to his unspoken call. David glanced over, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. No words were exchanged, no eye contact made. Yet in the shared rhythm, a connection bloomed, a silent understanding passing between father and son. The music continued, a steady beat weaving through their silence. The car became a sanctuary, a space where unspoken feelings found a voice. David understood, then, words weren't the only language of the heart. Sometimes connection resided in the quiet spaces between, in shared moments, unspoken. Healing wouldn't come through force or frustration, but through patience and presence. A quiet rhythm, a shared moment, a bridge built, one tap at a time. The journey would be long, but they had found a starting point, a shared rhythm to guide them. Sometimes connection isn't found in talking, but in listening, in waiting, in the quiet beat that brings two hearts into sync. The soccer field came into view, the destination they had been silently approaching. As they pulled to a stop, the rhythm faded, but the connection remained. Leo paused before opening the door, a subtle shift in his posture. He looked at David, a flicker of acknowledgement in his eyes. A small, almost imperceptible nod, a silent thank you. It was a start. A tiny crack in the wall that had separated them for so long. David returned. The nod, a silent promise of patience and understanding. The road ahead was still long, but they were on it together, one beat at a time. Leo opened the car door and stepped out, heading towards the field. David watched him go, a quiet sense of hope filling his heart. The rhythm on the dashboard had faded, but the melody lingered, a silent promise of connection and understanding. David smiled, knowing that sometimes the greatest conversations happen in the spaces between words, in the shared rhythms of life. The setting sun cast long shadows across the field, a reminder that even in darkness there is always light to be found, one beat at a time. And as Leo joined his teammates on the field, David knew that their rhythm, their silent conversation, would continue echoing in their hearts forever. For in the rhythm on the dashboard, they had found a melody of understanding, a silent song that would forever bind their hearts together.